Western Conference Finals between the Seattle SuperSonics and the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix, Arizona, high noon. The America West Arena, the scene for Game 7 of the NBA Western Finals. The Chicago Bulls await the winner. Fans of the Suns have celebrated the best ever Phoenix season, the most wins in their 25-year history. But Phoenix still is one precious victory away from the dream of an NBA championship round. Oh my! Hello everyone, and welcome to the America West Arena with Steve Jones and Tom Hammond. I'm Dick Enberg. The high-stakes winner-take-all Game 7 about to begin. And when you look at a game of such great import, you search out the two stars. Charles Barkley, MVP of the league, and for Seattle, their budding superstar, Shawn Kemp. First, Barkley. What Barkley will we see today?
Well, we better see the Charles Barkley that got a triple-double, 43 points, along with 10 assists and 15 rebounds. Barkley is going to have to be the aggressor. He's going to have to make things happen. He's going to have to take charge as he did in Game 5. He would not be denied getting chances to go to the hoop, and that brought his teammates with him. If he can play that way this afternoon, the Suns will come out on top.
No question that Barkley is the motor that runs this Phoenix machine, but the man who tried to turn off the ignition and did very well in Game 6, Shawn Kemp. Kemp not only outscored Barkley, he did a great job defensively.
Well, you know, Shawn Kemp has exploded in Games 4, 5, and 6. He has become the presence that the Sonics have been looking for. And Charles Barkley said he was tired, he ran out of gas in Game 6, but it was Shawn Kemp who said, no, it was my aggressiveness, my defensive energy on the boards, diving on the floor, starting the fast break, and finishing plays that made the difference.
And part of the Seattle strategy will have to be to quiet this crowd here in Phoenix. That's the plus for the Suns. The negative is they're playing with an 11-man roster today. And with more on that, let's go to Tom Hammond.
You're right, Dick. There is a significant injury for the Phoenix Suns. It's reserve small forward Cedric Ceballos. He was supplying some instant offense, 8 points in 4 minutes to start the third quarter of Game 6 when he pulled up lame, aggravating a stress fracture in his left foot. He underwent surgery this morning to insert a pin in the 5th metatarsal of that left foot, and he'll be out now 4 to 6 weeks on crutches. That puts the pressure squarely on the shoulders of 11-year veteran Tom Chambers. Now, he can score points, but he's sometimes an offensive liability. When I mentioned to him more playing time today, he broke out in a wide grin, and Chambers will start this Game 7 for Phoenix. The Suns are pulling out every motivational ploy. When the players arrived at the arena today, special T-shirts were waiting for them, like the one Mark West is wearing here, detailing just what stood between Phoenix and a trip to the NBA Finals. By the way, Seattle was not impressed. A couple of Sonic players told me they didn't need any tricks to get ready for Game 7. Dick?
All right, Tom. Well, Chicago sits back and watches and waits. The pressure falls on the shoulders of the two stars, Charles Barkley, Shawn Kemp. Game 7, and the starting lineups are coming up. The nerves of the pregame introductions aside, what final thoughts must be coursing through these great stars' bodies?
That's the biggest game of my career. Everybody in our locker room knows that. You spend your whole life trying to get to this point as a basketball player to play against, play for a world championship, and it comes down to one game, and this means everything. It means the whole season.
Well, when I was a little boy, I always dreamed of being at the top, playing against the top players, and having an opportunity to get to a championship series. I mean, it'd have to rank up there as being the best that ever happened to me. I mean, I'm excited about it.
The joy of the opportunity, the pressure, the intensity felt through Majerle and his 33-year-old counterpart, Ricky Pierce. The officials for this big 7th game in the West: Ed T. Rush, Mike Mathis, and Dick Bavetta. There's Bavetta and Mathis III. The officiating, you know them. You've watched them all year, Steve Jones. Does it favor one side or the other?
If there is an edge, and we know officials are not supposed to be that way, I would say with this crew, the Phoenix Suns will have a slight advantage. The crowd affects all officials, and we'll find out whether the Suns get just an edge enough to get to that line, get more calls.
NBA was founded in 1946, 47 years ago, tomorrow on June 6th. NBA's own D-Day. And here, the battle, the war for the West. Kevin Johnson, as Magic Johnson indicated, NBA Showtime, he is critical to penetration. Chambers starting his first game of these playoffs into Mark West, and West, who scored only 3 points total in the last 2 games, gets the first basket. At the other end, it'll be Pierce with Perkins out high. He's been their top 3-point shooter. McKee working on Chambers. Perkins ties it at 2. Left-hander acquired from the Los Angeles Lakers at midseason has been critical to the Sonics' growing success.
The critical part right there, Dick, is can they force turnovers? Can they force quick shots so that the Sonics can get in transition, because that's where they're the most effective.
Barkley way off on a wide-open 12-footer.
They're going to try to attack Tom Chambers right at the outset of this ball game. Chambers is a force offensively, but if you can get him down, that neutralizes his size. That will bring Dumas back off the bench. Derek McKee can be a very forceful player against both of them.
So Chambers matching his 6'10" against McKee, but doesn't have the quickness, and there's almost a turnover. Can it be saved? No, Barkley! Sir Charles hustles for his first points.
That play seemed to develop in slow motion, and the only one with any speed was Barkley. He ended up with a deuce.
Shawn Kemp gets his first touch. He's well off. Barkley rebounds. The leader on the season, cleaning the boards, and so it has been in the playoffs ahead to Kevin Johnson. And it's out of bounds. Did it touch Kevin Johnson? Was out of bounds? No.
You'll see that slow motion effort by Derek McKee. Out of nowhere, sprints Barkley, and once he's got possession of the ball, it's an easy 2 over the top.
Chambers, an excellent shooter at all ranges. Kevin Johnson jumping into Payton will draw the foul. And to the line will go number 7 in Game 7. Or they get Kevin Johnson.
One of the keys for the Sonics is to stay close early. The Phoenix Suns are the best front-running team in the NBA, and if they can get up and get up big in the first quarter, it's going to be difficult for the Sonics to catch up.
Phoenix with a 3-point lead early on the series. Kevin Johnson, his numbers down a little. Remember, at the start of the playoffs, he did not play in Game 1 against the Lakers because of a knee injury and has been recovering in full health now, but wore a knee bandage throughout the Lakers series. Kevin Johnson on Gary Payton.
When Seattle has had success, it's been going inside first and then coming back outside.
Payton, his 20-footer comes out to Perkins. Kemp and Chambers go down. Perkins for 3. Kemp. Can he save? No. Johnson, 3-on-1 to Marley. Blocked by Perkins. Pierce goes the other end to McKee. Sonics cold. Just 2 points in the first 2.5 minutes. Johnson. Rebound West. Chambers to Barkley. Loses it out of bounds to Seattle, and Charles can't believe it. Derek McKee. And the foul goes against Seattle. McKee on the charge.
Those are the kinds of calls that will give the Phoenix Suns an edge. Derek McKee obviously feeling he can go off the dribble at any time against Tom Chambers. You see an angry Charles Barkley, and what he is trying to do is keep the emotion of his team up and keep the pressure on the official.
Well, coaches talk about fouls to give. He says, I got a technical to give. It takes two. Tom Chambers from outside the arc, and Phoenix jumps out to an early 7-point lead.
The Sonics have always been in a state of flux in their half-court game, and right now they're in that state of fog. Let's see if they take advantage of a mismatch.
Ricky Pierce can't drop the three-point try, and it's out of bounds to Phoenix. Kevin Johnson, and no whistle.
Derek McKee.
Couldn't hear it in the noise, and there will be a foul on Derek McKee, his second. So 2 quick fouls on the starting forward, McKee, and George Karl wants a timeout. Barkley made Phoenix not a good team, but an outstanding team coming from Philadelphia. He was a leading scorer 6 years, always played physical. Would Game 7 be even more so?
Yes, because they were beating us up in Game 6, and I did not like it, Ed. But I think that it's up to some of my other teammates to waste some of their fouls, because I'm our leader as far as intimidation go, but I can't try to hurt guys like I want to and use up my fouls.
Well, a little calling card out to his Phoenix teammates to be more physical.
When he says hurt, what he means is put a body on people. Don't let someone come in the lane naked. And the Suns for years have been considered a soft finesse team until the arrival of Barkley. So we'll find out whether the Suns, who have an advantage right now and got an aggressive start, will be able to keep the Sonics from getting inside, get something cheap.
Kevin Johnson gets 1 out of 2, and Perkins with a rebound. An 8-point lead for Phoenix. And in 3.5 minutes, the Suns have made only 1 of 6 shots. The Sonics 1 out of 6. And Derek McKee is short. Kemp gets the long rebound. Payton well short. Some shooting elbows out there for Seattle.
Well, you have to remember who's shooting the basketball. McKee is not good from deep. Gary Payton, who had a terrific game in Game 5, struggles from the perimeter as well. He picks up his second personal foul and is not happy with the call. And all of the calls going against the Seattle SuperSonics here early. Backpedaling. Oh, if it's a touch too much, and that's what Payton is saying.
Johnson was well off on the shot, and Payton seemed to have a pretty good argument based on that angle.
In Game 3, this is the kind of officiating that took the aggressive play away from the Sonics, and they struggled. They eventually made one big run, but never really could overcome it. That was one of their concerns approaching Game 7.
11-2 Phoenix. Eddie Johnson in for Derek McKee. We'll see how long George Karl stays with Gary Payton with his 2 fouls.
You can see right now there's some confusion as to what they want to run, and they're not sure how to get a shot. They're ending up against the shot clock deep out on the floor.
Underneath is Shawn Kemp fouled. And we'll go to the line, a chance to bite into that 10-point Phoenix advantage. Kevin Johnson with his first foul.
You hear the talk about being patient offensively a lot of times, but that means you also have an idea of what you want to do. Many times in a half-court set, the Sonics are waiting for something to evolve, and at the last second, they're hoping someone will make a play, as Shawn Kemp just did.
Kemp, who has had a terrific series, averaging 21 a game and nearly 10 rebounds. Above his season marks. 12-4 with 7:41 to go in this opening quarter. And the long pass to West, and he drills it in. points for West. That's about his average in the entire playoffs.
They're throwing the ball ahead so that the Sonics don't get a chance to trap Kevin Johnson.
Payton takes it in.
Nice drive.
First points for the point guard of the Sonics.
What the Sonics have to remember is that Phoenix will let you back in a game. They will let you score, but you also got to defend at your end of the floor.
Marley takes it inside and scores. Marley's first points. 7 minutes to go in the quarter. 10-point Phoenix lead. Barkley on Kemp.
Kemp is waiting for the double team.
Ricky Pierce is short. And it goes over the top to Phoenix. Sonics shots are short here in the first quarter. They're 2 for 10. Meanwhile, all the Phoenix starters have scored for Paul Westphal. That's always a good sign. Everyone gets on the board early.
You see that they have changed their attack and who's bringing the ball up. They get a turnover this time from Kemp.
Kemp took it away from Barkley. Payton into Perkins. Oh, tough shot by Perkins as he was going down. Loops that one home.
The Sonics have to have a real aggressive defense. Barkley takes his eye off the ball. It pops right into the hands of Shawn Kemp. And Sam Perkins, who likes to work down in the post as well as go outside with a real tough chance. It goes in now. Maybe that three-point play that will give them the spark.
Marley committed the foul. Perkins the three-point play, and the Phoenix lead cut to 7. 6:22 left in the quarter.
And what Marley is doing will also wear down Ricky Pierce. Pierce does not like to come out and challenge long distance.
Barkley unable to connect. Shawn Kemp up with the run, hit the sidelines as he skidded his foot, hit the sideline, out of bounds to Phoenix.
You see the slide and foot, and he never really got under control. They lose a golden chance. As Barkley missed that shot right at the rim, and after he missed, Kevin Johnson jumped in his face and said, "You got to knock those down."
Payton putting the pressure on, and the man who leads all players in steals in the playoffs has another, Gary Payton. Eddie Johnson. That was a two-pointer, and Marley rebounds. Here come the Suns, leading by 7. 5.5 to go, opening quarter. Marley. Marley, who had a big 34-point game the last home encounter here in Phoenix, Game 5, including the NBA playoff record-setting 8 for 10 from three-point range.
See players' chest breathing very deeply on both sides, but it's the Phoenix Suns who have been the aggressors that are shooting the ball better. They've got the types of shots they want. Let's see if they can establish an inside game through Sam Perkins.
Perkins, a tough fadeaway, and Perkins has 7 of the Sonics points to lead the way.
They switch and they're trying to get the ball into Mark West.
And he is fouled.
Sam Perkins loves this side of the floor, and what he wants to do is fake in and then come back right. You see that's a tough shot, but that's money for Perkins. The same shot that's given them big advantages whenever they have been down. Perkins' job now is to keep the Sonics within contact. They're down 7, and if they can just stay around 7, 10 points, they can finally get themselves into the game.
Mark West shooting off the foul Ricky Pierce committed. West, not a good free throw shooter, just under 52% on the regular season. So West has 5 points. He had 2 in Game 6, and he had 1 in Game 5. So that's good news for Phoenix fans.
See what happens with Eddie Johnson. He walked around like he's got the hot hand. The first time he shot the ball, he liked the way it felt.
And that's exactly where they go, to the veteran Johnson from Illinois, his first points. Out of bounds, George Karl campaigning for Seattle ball, but that's not the way it goes. Barkley helps out in the backcourt, and Payton almost with a steal.
Now, Payton has been very aggressive defensively and made some good plays, forces a turnover and a mistake from Kevin Johnson.
4 turnovers now forced by the Sonics, who led the league in the regular year. Turnovers forced and in steals. Johnson on Chambers.
Trying to give Kemp a chance to go one-on-one against Barkley.
And he throws it in. 4 points for Shawn Kemp. It's a 4-point game. Phoenix had led by as much as 10.
Mismatch out there at their end of the floor is Tom Chambers against Eddie Johnson, and they go right to it, and Eddie Johnson picks up the personal.
Johnson 3 inches shorter.
What Shawn Kemp is looking for is a double team first. It doesn't come. That gives him room to work. You see Barkley does not want to draw any fouls early, so he backs off. And on the other end, you've got Eddie Johnson trying to get up tight and be aggressive, knowing that Chambers is bigger. He agrees with the call.
Chambers to the line, 1 in the penalty. Chambers, who has had 80 games of playoff experience and averaging 19 points a game. Back to Tom's chamber has been full as a scorer. He's in the NBA top 30 in all-time scoring, over 18,000 points.
Chambers had 11 points in Game 5, and all of those were critical to them winning. Tonight, this afternoon, he is starting. A lane violation. On the Sonics. Excuse me, against the Phoenix Suns.
So that'll take away that second free throw, apparently. Still some debate about that.
You'll see Mark West cheat in. He's in early. We got let in. Sam brought him in.
They have not changed the scores yet. Nate McMillan. Shawn Kemp on the sidelines for the first time, and Perkins rainbows in another. He has 9 points in the quarter.
Shawn Kemp had blood on him, and that may be what that call was. And instead of a lane violation, he had to come out of the game. Michael Cage came in. Mismatch, Pierce against Chambers.
Inside to West, partially blocked by Michael Cage. Perkins has the hot hand, doesn't hit that one. Eddie Johnson on the follow. Johnson's cold shooting throughout the playoffs continues in this quarter. Barkley on the rumble and the foul. McMillan reaching in.
Both teams want pace in the game, and pace favors Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley, knowing that Barkley is coming. McMillan doesn't want him to get in where he can get a chance to get a three-point play. Will put Barkley on the line for the first time.
Shawn Kemp apparently had a scratch on his right shin, and there was blood, and of course NBA rules dictate that he must immediately be sent to the bench for repairs. Barkley is in his 7th NBA playoff. Philadelphia's loss, certainly Phoenix's gain, and he seems to be a very happy man here, and he predicted a big game today from Sir Charles. Will it be the 43 level or the 13 that he scored in Game 6? He misses both free throws. It remains a 4-point game.
The Sonics have clawed their way back in it. Perkins has been the guy that has steadied the ship, and we'll find out whether they continue to go through Sam Perkins.
McMillan goes inside and is rejected. Marley breaks out with Barkley. Seattle hustling back. Kevin Johnson. And West is fouled. Michael Cage, his first.
Nate McMillan found the seam as he was trying to get a two-man game going. Got in, but couldn't get the ball up high enough. Tom Chambers knocks it away.
Just under 3 minutes left in the opening period. Phoenix by 4.
Tom Hammond back in Phoenix, where Shawn Kemp of the SuperSonics suffered a slight cut on his leg. It's not serious. It's been patched up, and he can return to the game at any time, though he stays on the bench at the moment. An extra problem for George Karl today. Right behind his bench is Robin Ficker, being interviewed now for NBA radio. He's the famous heckler from the Washington Bullets. Somehow he got a front row seat, and he's been all over George Karl. He's been saying, "You've got a problem, boy, George."
Nick Versace, the former coach of the Indiana Pacers there, the white-haired gentleman getting his ears burned. Something left over. I guess he left the NBA too soon, and our heckling fan had some extra ammunition.
Well, Robin Ficker, he hadn't had a good team to cheer for in years, so, you know, he's in heaven. The Bullets have really struggled, but he has worked everybody over that's coming to the Cap Center.
Well, Mark West hits both free throws. He has 7 points and leads Phoenix.
Oliver Miller has come in the game along with Danny Ainge, and we'll see if they attack him through Sam Perkins.
Miller out on Perkins.
Shot clock at 5.
Perkins with 2. As a three-pointer, Eddie Johnson is called for a push. And another Seattle foul, his second.
He's trying to get the rebound. The official says Eddie Johnson held down Danny Ainge. And of course, if you're Danny Ainge, you shake your head. You say, yes, this is the easiest place to score from the free throw line. You get another look, and you can see the arm was extended.
So far, the foul totals 9 called against Seattle, 3 against Phoenix.
Composure is the real key for the Sonics at this stage. They got to know that they can play through these rough patches when they're not getting the calls and still come back and stay in the game. They got as close as 4. The free throw line is pushing the lead right now.
Sabalas, number 23, worn by Danny Ainge. Sabalas' year is over, a fractured bone in the foot. There's a young man who scored 8 points in 4 minutes in Seattle at the start of the second half and then suffered the fractured foot. Inside to Johnson in a crowd, and it's stolen by Ainge. And apparently
3-second violation.
Well, Phoenix enjoying
in all the other games, they ran someone at Kevin Johnson. So far, they've allowed Kevin to go where he wants. He wants him to clear out because he had Eddie Johnson on him in a switch. Still has Eddie on.
Kevin Johnson makes it a 10-point lead. That matches the Suns' biggest margin. Eddie Johnson inside to score. He has 4. And a minute left to go in this opening quarter. 8-point Phoenix advantage. Despite Charles Barkley scoring only 2 points.
Now they've got the +7 from Mark West, and that's a huge bonus, and he's at the rim again.
9 points for West, whose high this year was 16. McMillan fouled by West.
What George Karl is trying to do is keep Kevin Johnson from penetrating. He finds the seam, the help comes, but there's Mark West for the easy 2. So they've got to be able to push Kevin Johnson backwards. They haven't done it in the first period. They're down 10.
Johnson called for that foul, reaching in, and that's 2 on him. Nate McMillan with his first point. McMillan, part of that supercharged defensive backcourt for the SuperSonics. McMillan and Payton, perhaps the best defensive pair in the league.
They are great defenders, and the only way that Nate McMillan really scores is if he gets an open opportunity or goes to the rim. He's shooting below 30% for the series. They need some offensive punch to go along with the defensive energy.
Phoenix with the ball. 1 minute to go in the quarter, a 9-point lead. Johnson rebounding for Seattle, a 3-on-2. And McMillan has it knocked away by Phoenix, out of bounds to Seattle.
How do you not go to Shawn Kemp on this play? You know this is thrown down. He decides to try to give it to Nate. Actually, that ball should have come back to the Phoenix Suns. You can see Shawn Kemp was on the right-hand side. Kevin Johnson, you don't have a shirt on, so you can't make calls.
Seattle not as yet enjoying the penalty as Shawn Kemp, blocked by rookie Oliver Miller. Kemp gets it back. Cage the rebound, a new 24.
You got a mismatch with Eddie Johnson against Frank Johnson if they can get him the ball.
They do. And he throws in a tough 5-footer off the left side. 6 points for Eddie. And a whistle after the basket. Mathis has called a foul. Oliver Miller, a technical foul.
Said he threw an elbow.
So Eddie Johnson will go to the line. Johnson, the third best free throw shooter in the league this year. Mark Price led the way, and Denver's Chris Jackson was second. Johnson hit 91% plus. So Miller with a wild elbow.
Oliver Miller in the contact right there. Now he goes back up and a little pork chop. Not a flagrant effort, but just to get him off of him. You can see Charles Barkley saying, not now.
Mark West goes out for Phoenix, and Dan Majerle returns. Gibson Askew makes his first appearance for Seattle. About a 3-second difference in the shot and game clocks here. Final seconds of the first period. Barkley with 6. Has his 4th point. 6.5 seconds for Seattle.
The Sonics should at least be able to get the ball in the air if they're aware of the shot clock.
McMillan, a 3-pointer, and he hits it at the buzzer. A big bomb from Miller. McMillan, rather, and at the end of the quarter, that cuts the Phoenix lead once at 10 to halftime, about 31-26. Mark West, a surprise on the production end. 9 points for the starting center of the Suns to lead the home team to the advantage after the first 12 minutes. Well, the final shot by Nate McMillan brought him personal inspiration and brought the Sonics closer.
Well, the fans in Seattle have been waiting for someone to plug Nate McMillan in and give him some firepower. This 3-point field goal was a huge shot for Nate. The power is on, and he liked it. Paul Westphal, the last guy to make a 3-point field goal, not Nate McMillan.
31-26, Dick Hendrick with Snapper Jones and Tom Hammond, our producer David Neal, and director John Gonzalez from the America West Arena in Phoenix, deciding Game 7 in the West. The winner will try to deny the Bulls from the three-peat. McMillan forcing it inside. Michael Cage. Long range for Cage. Trying to beat that 24-second clock. Oliver Miller clears to Ainge. Barkley.
And when they've controlled Charles Barkley, they've had him shooting out on the perimeter. What that allows the Sonics to do is get in their transition game. Well, let's see if they have an idea where they want to score. McMillan.
Former North Carolina State star has 6 points. A 3-point game, 11 to go in the first half. Chambers inside. Barkley follows. A half dozen for Barkley.
Now, this is a guy that's got to take advantage of Chambers when he's out on the floor, and that's Derek McKee.
McKee from outside. His first basket.
This is how they get Charles Barkley to cough up the ball. They send someone right to him near turnover.
10 on the shot clock. Ainge to Miller. Miller kind of threw that one up blindly, and it's against the Phoenix Suns.
Well, he heard Charles Barkley say, get it up, because Barkley had seen the shot clock running down. He felt he had good rebound position, would be able to catch it and go back up, but it bounced over his head. Miller picks up his first personal.
Well, here come the Sonics with 10 minutes to go in the half. They're down by only 3. McKee left alone. And brings it. 2 in a row for Derek McKee. 33-32 Phoenix.
They're trying to post Barkley now. Kemp is supposed to come to force him to give the ball up. He finally arrived.
Chambers fires. And it'll go out of bounds to Seattle. Phoenix running into a cold stretch after leading by 10 with less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. Congratulations to Steffi Graf and to Mary Jo Fernandez. A great women's final you saw earlier today on NBC. And tomorrow the men's final live at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 here Pacific time, as Jim Courier goes for 3 in a row against the top Spaniard, Sergei Bruguera, on the Terabad 2 at Roland Garros, 9 a.m. tomorrow live.
Pressure produces strange reactions. Oliver Miller not happy with the shot that Tom Chambers took, and frosting at the mouth let him know.
Meanwhile, it's the SuperSonics with a chance for the lead. They have not been ahead in this game.
McKee has a chance to get almost any shot he wants against Tom Chambers. Now they're trying to post up Shawn Kemp against Chambers.
Kemp blocked by Miller. Miller, who leads the team in blocks in the playoffs, he had 100 in the regular season. That's his second today.
They're giving him that shot.
Way off for Oliver Miller. Cage the rebound.
Kemp right down the middle.
And he's fouled by Danny Ainge, who saves the easy layup. A nice handmade number 23 for Sabalas out of some adhesive tape.
Well, that's a teammate pulling for a teammate, and teammate gets help there. Tom Chambers was in bad position. Oliver Miller came over and knocked it away.
Shawn Kemp at the line. Chance to tie with 1 and give Seattle its first lead if he makes both.
Oliver Miller does not want to come out of the game, but they need to change the complexion of the game. And Kevin Johnson is back in to try to break down the defense of the Sonics. Mark West is inside to block shots as well.
Kemp 3 for 3 now, and the game is tied at 33. Paul Westphal and Oliver Miller in discussion, and times these Suns bickering with one another, and that's really been more the scene in Seattle, where they nicknamed George Karl and Gary Payton the Pac-Man because they're always chewing on each other.
You know, the pressure is on the Phoenix Suns. They've now lost the lead, and they have from day one set the championship as their goal, and they're sensing a little bit of pressure right now. That's the reason for the confusion.
Marley misses from three-point range out to Askew. McMillan. Michael Cage takes it back out. He knows his limitations.
Now in this situation, McKee has got to move the ball and himself against Mark West. And if he does, he can go right by him, but he's got to have some room to operate.
McMillan takes it inside and a foul. Appeared to be Mark West. His first.
Mark West is really good at moving people out of the lane. He tried to take the charge, didn't get there in time. And Nate McMillan, after making back-to-back jumpers, has really become aggressive in trying to find ways to score.
McMillan with 6 points. And this has been the best Seattle run, 11-2 in this rampage. His numbers only 4 points plus scoring in this series, but he has 7 today. 8:15 to go in this first half.
You see the value of for Derek McKee as he's the guy that slows up Dan Majerle.
Chambers unable to connect.
Mismatch, and this is again where they'll force a double team and make McKee make a decision. Trying to post McKee. 5.
McKee with 2, McMillan with 1, a three-point try, and a rebound Askew and a new clock. Kemp from outside rattles it in, and it's a 4-point Seattle lead. 8 now for Kemp. He has outscored Barkley in the game.
Well, now we'll find out whether they get the ball to Charles Barkley. They have kept him out on the perimeter and taking deep shots here in the quarter. Barkley hasn't touched the ball.
Barkley positioning on the far side of the ball. Oh! Johnson way off the mark, but Barkley there as if it were a pass. 6 for Sir Charles. And 6 rebounds. And the turnover to Phoenix, trailing by 2.
They can't get him the ball off the set, so Barkley works the window and gets that one to go in as we go to a break.
7:02 remaining in the first half. The Phoenix Suns and Seattle SuperSonics. 2-point lead for the visitors. Yep, no doubt about that. The bald pate of Charles Barkley. He makes the opposition focus and has been the focal point of the entire NBA this year. And how about the man trying to defend him, Shawn Kemp?
I've been able to play against Carl to start off with, then Hakeem, and now it's Charles. So, you know, it's only getting worse. And I tell you, it's almost like going to school at times because you learn a lot. You learn a lot from the guy because he is a great competitor. You learn a lot of little things, a lot of little tricks that he does. And I've been able to use some of those things on him, and it's been able to help me out.
One of the few Elkhart, Indiana's Shawn Kemp that did not go to college, right to the NBA at age 19, and it has been a hurry-up education for him, and seems to be learning his lessons very well. 7 to go in the half. Phoenix looking for a tie on this trip. Seattle out shooting the Suns considerably here in the second quarter. Barkley.
Well, the Suns lost their aggressiveness, and they're now trying to get it back by going through Charles Barkley. The offensive end, they stalled. They became a perimeter team.
Tied at 37. Barkley now with 10 to lead all scorers. Askew to Payton. Blocked by West, and Barkley recovers.
That was a huge block because Payton was right at the well on a perfect play, give and go.
Ainge for 3. The veteran Danny Ainge, who has been in the NBA Finals 5 of the last 8 years. He now has 5. Here at the America West, trying to spur the home team with a cry defense and a foul on Ainge, his second.
What you want when you face pressure is to give the ball up and have someone go to the hoop, and that's why they have shot blockers. Mark West came out of nowhere to take that hoop away from Gary Payton.
Vincent Askew out, and the Sonics' top scorer, Ricky Pierce, returns. Pierce has not scored, Snapper.
He's off to a real rough start, but we know he can be very explosive. But right now, they're trying to get the ball inside. They call a foul against Shawn Kemp, trying to set a screen for Birkin.
His first foul.
Bringing the ball over, you watch Kemp move. He really didn't get a set screen. Gave him a little bit of the shoulder.
37 Phoenix. Barkley over Kemp. Charles Barkley warming up. He now has a dozen. Now Barkley on the defensive end against Kemp, and Kemp shoots over a man some 6 inches shorter.
I think that's one of the things that Kemp has to realize. He can get that shot against Barkley almost any time he's down on the bottom.
Barkley. They dared him to shoot it. Instead, it's Majerle for three. Perkins. Ricky Pierce brings it up.
Pierce likes to challenge in transition.
Through a collision, and Majerle picks up the loose ball. Barkley against Payton. Good job by Payton to cut him off.
And that's Barkley at his best. They cut him off on the baseline. He was able to step back in and still get the deuce. He's got 10 in the quarter.
Barkley taking charge of the game here in the second period. Derek McKee, former Alabama star, has 6.
The team with the defensive pressure and the not allowing the ball to move and the bodies to move are the ones that get the advantage. And right now, the Sonics have relaxed, and they're letting the Suns do whatever they want. Ainge with another three-point shot.
Ainge with a couple of trays and now has 8. Ainge in the regular season shot more three-pointers than he did two-point attempts. And Phoenix led the league in most attempted and made. Barkley wincing his first foul.
You only react that way when you're at 5.
Disbelief at his first call.
Little bit of a hand check, but by the time Kemp has gotten away from him, he can't believe the call. That's the reason for the reaction, but he's still got 5 left.
All right, Bob, and Charles Barkley, guilty or not guilty? An unhappy man. His first foul has been called. Totally disagree. We asked him if he would waste his emotions today on the officials' calls.
Well, it depends on if they're bad or not. If they're bad, we have to. I don't see anything wrong with getting a technical if they're bad. Some officials just bad. That's it.
That's from the book of Charles. Well, he may have been complaining also of the fact that Seattle has not had a foul called against them the entire quarter, and we've got 3:48 left, and Phoenix whistled for 5, and in the penalty, Kemp at the line.
Even though they're in the penalty, they have been the aggressors to get back on the lead. The Sonics, who were very aggressive in getting back in the ball game, have not really pressured the ball, haven't gotten up, so they're not forcing mistakes. That's the reason that the Suns have been able to get back on top. So it may be a plus and a minus in one way.
Kemp now 5 for 6 from the line, leads Seattle with 11 points. 5-point game.
Barkley.
Backdoor on Shawn Kemp, and Barkley now with 16.
Barkley has been the force that has brought them here, and they're going to ride his shoulders to try to get an advantage. Payton almost fell over.
Ricky Pierce still looking for his first points, and it won't fall. Kemp saves it, knocked away by Ainge, and they're going to call a foul on, I believe, Ainge or West. They were both reaching. It'll be Ainge.
Rule of defense is always know where the ball is, know where your man is. Shawn Kemp got lost, and it was an easy 2 for Charles Barkley. So in order to prevent this play, they needed pressure on the passer. They needed Kemp to be aware of where Barkley was. They failed in both cases.
Ainge, always aggressive. Kemp converts, and he's now 6 out of 7 from the line. 12 points for Shawn Kemp. His counterpart Barkley with 4 more in this half. And Barkley rebounds.
To ensure that they don't get Kevin Johnson with the trap, they're letting the off guard bring the ball up.
Barkley hits the side of the board. 2 on 3. Pierce waits for green-shirted help.
Pierce wants to get started.
Still can't hit. and Barkley. And it'll go against the veteran from Seattle. Maybe in frustration, he's 0 for 4.
Pierce's strength is at the offensive end. He missed another good, strong drive, and in trying to make a steal, just a little chokehold.
Yeah, I guess there was a foul in there. West at the other end, and a foul against Seattle. There were 3 men surrounding the center of the Suns, and it'll be Shawn Kemp's second. So far, the matchup of stars, Barkley outscoring his younger opponent and out-rebounding him, but both having good halves. Barkley, and the key to the entire series for Barkley, you make him shoot outside, you've got a chance. Inside, he rarely misses. He was 11 for 11 2 games ago here in Phoenix. He's 6 for 7 today in the paint, 2 for 5 outside.
Well, the playoffs are about adjustments, and it's Game 7, and the Phoenix Suns have finally figured out a way to make Kevin Johnson a more effective penetrator. That's the reason that Mark West ends up getting that hoop, because of Kevin Johnson's penetration.
And a technical foul apparently has been whistled against Pierce, who was bumping with
number 22, Kenny.
Oh, wait, now they're changing it. It isn't Pierce. It's Payton and Ainge who were bumping and grinding, and each will draw the technical. So one more for either of those two, and they say goodbye to Game 7. Meanwhile, Mark West in double figures with 11 points in this first half. That is a surprising resource for Phoenix.
In the next 2:20, the Sonics want to reestablish their offensive presence to see if they can get their inside game going. McKee has got Chambers. He can make it happen if he goes on his own.
5 seconds on the shot clock. George Karl Sonics rallying from 10 down, and late in the first quarter took a 4-point lead early here in the second. Now it's Phoenix reclaiming the advantage by 8 as Kevin Johnson gets a hand as he goes out.
2 minutes.
With a second left, it was Kemp long and out of bounds to Seattle. Last touch by Mark West.
A quick shot for Kemp against the clock, just catches the rim. Payton doesn't catch up to it in time. Mark West knocks it out of bounds.
New 24 for Payton. Perkins for 2. Sam Perkins quiet after a red-hot first quarter, now has 11.
Now they don't have to worry about penetration. They have to worry about the post-up and whether they'll be able to keep Barkley from getting inside shots.
Veteran Frank Johnson in. This is his first attempt. Derek McKee, 3-on-3. 1:20 to go in the half. Sonics trail by 6. Underneath to Payton, and he's fouled by Chambers. His second.
Fouls number 24, Tom Chambers.
Derek McKee can make all kinds of plays for everybody and makes an easy one for Gary Payton, who cut to the hoop. Can you believe that Tom reacted like that?
Has anyone ever fouled in this game? Gary Payton at the line. And Seattle has missed some chances in this first half. The charity strike. Tough man defensively, and has improved his scoring in this his third season. Well, a told story of his taking over 1,000 shots every day all last summer to improve his jump shot.
Bring Kevin Johnson back in. They want to get him for penetration, see if they can set up something on the outside. Oh, looked like a good block
By Perkins, perhaps with a body. That was Michael Cage on the backside.
So you'll see dancing down the lane, a little bit of a touch on the arm on the way up gets Kevin Johnson on the line.
Cage with a foul. His second. KJ 7 points in the game. made 6 of those from the foul line. Frank Johnson in, Danny Ainge out. 1:03 to go in the half.
They got a small back court, and along with Marley and Barkley up front, they're really short at the forward position. Mark West is supposed to knock down any penetration.
Johnson gives Phoenix a 53-46 advantage with a minute to go in the half.
Trying to post up Ricky Pierce.
On the shorter Frank Johnson. Eddie Johnson from outside. Nails a 20-footer. He has 9.
Well, that's Eddie Johnson that they have been waiting to arrive this entire playoff. He has shot the ball well here early in the first half.
Kevin Johnson inside, gets it to West, and West is fouled. Mark West, what a story for him. Oh, wait a minute, offensive foul is the call. Oh, my, a big call. Takes away 2 and gives Seattle the ball.
After Kevin Johnson finds the seam, you see that off arm come out and wipe off Sam Perkins.
Ricky Pierce inside, and that's going to be blocking against Phoenix, and now the fans are really angry. Frank Johnson with a foul, his first.
Pierce is trying to find a way to get off, and really he's got to stay under control. Frank Johnson trying to draw the foul. Pierce goes up, and you can see George Karl's complaint. Charles Barkley got his hand in the net. I should have 2 more.
And Pierce, who has been nearly perfect from the line in this series, 30 out of 32. That's the lead to 4. And it's his first point as Askew returns and Eddie Johnson out. Defense switch. With 24.7 seconds left, almost clock time. Pierce misses only his 3rd of this series.
The Suns should be working for the last shot, and one of the reasons that Askew's in there is to make Kevin Johnson work hard to bring the ball up. Now he'll set up in a 1-4. What he likes to do is come right at you, and if you're Askew, you should be challenging Kevin Johnson.
Yes, a call, and Rush calls continuation. Big.
Anytime Kevin Johnson can get you backing up and on your heels, he is a threat. And this time, he gets a rare hook shot to go in. But you can see Askew's backing up. If he's going to control him, he's got to go to him and turn him one way or the other, not let Kevin Johnson dictate the way he should play.
Oh, so much riding on every attempt. Kevin Johnson letting out full emotion, completing that shot and a chance for the 3-point play as he looks for his 12th of this first half. 4.8 seconds, so Seattle thinking about a quick move for the final shot. And Barkley with a push-off, his second. No argument from Charles. Yeah. So they'll go to the other end, and that's a break for the Sonics.
A huge break. There were 4.8 seconds in. Karl was trying to figure out how he was going to get that last score. Had snuck Dana Barros in the ball game in hopes that he might be able to trigger a quick 3, and they get a foul, so it's Nate McMillan, or is it Sam Perkins who will come to the line? Perkins.
Perkins with 2 shots and a chance to carve the Phoenix lead to 4 at the break. Conversation between the officials, Messrs. Rush, Mathis, and Bavetta. They seem to agree. They like Courier tomorrow to win his 3rd straight French Open. You'll see that 9 o'clock live from Roland Garros in Paris.
They're going to reset the clock.
Back to 4.8 seconds. Barkley fouled before the ball came off the rim. Explanation now given to Paul Westphal and Lionel Hollins. Hollins, the assistant of Westphal, a member of the Blazers' 1977 NBA championship. Bill Walton. There's Hollins, an outstanding guard. Tough defensive player he was. 20-second timeout by Seattle. 55-50. For those of you who have not watched every game of this series in the Wild Wild West, here's how things developed. Game 1, the Suns won handily, and then the Sonics, in the talk of the league, stole one in Game 2. They were always right there and took full advantage to even the series, but then Phoenix returned the favor up in Seattle, winning Game 3. The Sonics commanding in their Game 4 triumph. Game 5 went with the home team, the Suns. That was the big Barkley game, 43, and Majerle with 34, hit 8 3-pointers. And then the Sonics, again, really muscling 118-102. So the victories in Seattle, the last two, were very impressive, while here Phoenix has really had to battle, and that concerned the fans of the Suns coming in here. You heard that talk quite often.
As we moved around yesterday, the concern was the history of the franchise would bite this team one more time. They have not been able to win 7 games.
So Kevin Johnson's quickness draws another foul with a second and a half remaining as Perkins couldn't stay with him. So just as Magic Johnson indicated, Kevin's speed and that darting moves toward the basket paying off.
Well, the way they set it up was not to initially throw the ball to Kevin Johnson, but to use him out on the wing. So Oliver Miller was the guy that caught it, and then you had Kevin Johnson in a full sprint. 1.5 seconds left in the half.
That's 8 of his 12 points from the foul line.
George Carl is one of those magnetic boards. See, if he had one of those things, just like Westphal had, he could come up with a magic play here in this last second and a half.
Carl sees Barkley go out. Ainge in. Johnson, 9 out of 10 from the line, and Barros, final fling from midcourt, and that's the end of the first half. I have to go to the NBA championship round. Phoenix has a 6-point lead on the Seattle SuperSonics. We'll be joining Bob Costas, Quinn Buckner, Bill Walton, Peter Bessie. Prudential halftime report right after.
This game, of course, faces the Bulls in the NBA Finals. We'll have the entire Finals for you in prime time, beginning Wednesday night at 9 Eastern Time. Earlier, I talked with Bulls coach Phil Jackson, and I started by asking him about Scottie Pippen's clutch performances against the Knicks.
Well, it's interesting that as the competition and the series of playoff championships have gone on, he's increased the level of his abilities. Scottie has just risen to the challenge, and during the season I thought he was a little bit mentally fatigued. I thought his ankle bothered him during about the last 40 games of the season, and going into the playoffs he got some rest, a 4 days rest, and then some rest between the Atlanta-Cleveland series, and I thought that he just kept elevating his game all the way through, and right now he's playing at a par of any player in this game right now.
You said after the game last night that Michael Jordan looked weary to you, perhaps from all the controversy. How serious a factor do you think that is as the finals approach?
I think it's a mirage that we saw last night. It went through in a real quick blitzkrieg, I think, almost of news media and speculation and a whole lot of innuendo around about his character, about his personal behavior. And I think that just that attention must have caused a tremendous drain of energy on him. I can't imagine what that would be like for an individual. So I was not surprised at the level he came out. He played very well the first half, but the second half he looked like he got worn down. But still, he did a great job on defense, got the ball to people, and got some assists for us to help win.
There's been some sparring over the past year between you and Pat Riley, and it heated up during this series. What, if anything, did the two of you say to each other after it was over?
You know, our normal custom is because our training room or our locker room is on the opposite end of the court from our benches, to walk by the benches and shake hands. But at some time during this series, the kind of the rumor and the feeling is that, you know, hey, let's stop this charades, that this isn't a, you know, a shake hands and good luck kind of situation here right now. We're both in a death do us part struggle. So during the course of the series, there's farther and farther distancing apart, and both of us, I think, have some sort of admiration for each other from a distance. But after the game was over, he looked me in the eye as we crossed paths on the way to our locker room, and he said, "Good job, good series." And that was enough said, and I think we parted you know, with a great deal of respect for each other, particularly myself, for the energy that he's put into this season and the drive and motivation he's pushed his team through.
Phil Jackson, we'll see him and his Bulls either in Phoenix or in Chicago, depending upon the outcome of this afternoon's game, as the NBA Finals open at 9 Eastern Time on NBC Wednesday night. When we return here, we'll bring in Quinn and the Insiders to talk about the first half of the Suns and the Sonics. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. All right, Phoenix 57, Seattle 51 at the half. Bill, you picked Seattle to win it. In fairness to them, though, remember George Karl told us the other night, we feel very comfortable playing in Phoenix. They were on the verge of letting the Suns open up too big a lead in the first quarter, and they did maintain their poise enough to stay in the game, down by only 6 at the half.
They're in very good position, despite the fact that their front court defense is flawed strategically. Here they are, they're trying to overplay in front guys like Mark West and Tom Chambers, guys who have no back-to-the-basket game, giving them easy opportunities. Mark West has 11 points. And then the inexplicable decline and failure to show up of Ricky Pierce. 0 for 4 from the field, 1 point. The guy has not come to play today. He is their most disciplined offensive player. He's got to come through. He did it in Game 5, not today.
That ties into something Magic told us on the pregame show. He said perimeter shooting would be a key to a possible Seattle upset. Pierce 0 for 4, and overall they're 10 of 24 from the perimeter. How about KJ? 13 points, 4 assists first half.
Well, he's a big part of what they do, and part of the reason that I think Seattle was able to get back in the game, that's when KJ had to go out with 2 fouls. It's KJ's ability to get everybody involved in the game. Mark West gets his 11 points. I'm sure to say that you get 3 of those shots he'll get because Kevin Johnson will go to the basket and draw the defense and then look up who finds the ball. Mark West right there that close. That's a shot he's not going to miss very often. But KJ's ability to get everybody's in the game is crucial to Phoenix being successful.
And now the Peter Vesey take on things.
It's crucial containing Mark West the first 6 games, though, wasn't it? No, I think the fact that Richard Dumas got sat down for this game is a major adjustment by the Suns, putting in Tom Chambers. They were having an awful lot of trouble with that matchup with McKee. It's a rude awakening for a rookie who's compared to Dr. J a few weeks ago. But I think the key to the whole thing is that the Suns, I knew they'd win as long as Charles Barkley didn't play like an MVP.
Did
Play
not, like an MVP?
Most vanishing player. I mean, he came through in the second quarter there with 12 points out of his 16 in the second quarter. He has vanished a few times in this series.
So whatever they edit out of your column in the USA Today, you just bring over in the briefcase and favor us with it. Is that the deal here?
It's in the contract, Bob.
Anybody with a closing thought before we have to send it back to America West?
Well, I'd like to see KJ, this is the time. He's always wanted to be recognized as the elite point guard. And this is where it is. It's prime time, and great players always want this time. They want this, right? You're a great player or a great fan. What is it?
This is the moment that you live for. It's all right on your shoulders. That's why I can't believe Ricky Pierce. He's played his whole life to get here. Nothing in the first half.
Credit to the defense. They must be playing him differently.
They're playing him differently, too. He's not getting the same kind of looks he gets.
The defense is, it can never shut down top offense.
At this point, it's shut down Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce, through his whole career, has been one of the great clutch jump shooters, and he's got a whole half to prove it in the biggest game of his life.
Yeah, and I think you'll probably see him come out. That's the one thing you will say about great players like yourself, and I don't mean that facetiously. If you have a bad half, you always come out and play a lot better in the second half because you get a chance to go in the locker room, and you don't want to go out and embarrass yourself. So he'll come back and play strong, I think, in the second half.
All right, a half to go. The Bulls are waiting. We'll send things back to Phoenix for the second half. Did I miss something? You guys are here laughing. I don't know. It all goes over my head. Suns leading by 6. Come to think of it, most everything in life goes over my head right after these messages from your local station.
Back at the America West Arena, the Chicago Bulls await the winner of this game, and you can be sure that both coaches reminding all players that 2 quarters to go, with their faith for a chance at a championship ring hangs in every play. We reported here 2 games ago that the Harlem Globetrotters were out of business, being replaced by the NBA accident, and we were in there and want to apologize for that, and we're very happy that we made that mistake. The Globetrotters have a strong pulse, and we understand they're going to perform some 300 times around the world this year. We're glad that they are. All right, Steve Jones, we've been looking at the stars all day. Are they sparkling?
Well, they're sparkling, and they're sparkling in different ways. You know, this has been a game of surges, and when the Phoenix Suns were down, they went to their main man, and it was Charles Barkley who really provided the spark. In that second quarter of play, you see his hand, give me the ball. Now, he does a great job of avoiding the double team, then diving back in, and that is what makes Charles Barkley so special, the ability to avoid contact. When the Sonics were down and they needed a lift, and they've been waiting for Eddie Johnson to show up, he finally came through. 9 points in that first half of play, a good driving effort. They need more of those kinds of play. But what ultimately is going to decide this game? Defense. Who's going to bump and who's going to grind the most down here in the final 2 quarters of play?
One other point, the guys back in New York were talking about the failure of Ricky Pierce to score. Pierce and Gary Payton, between them, the 2 guards, starting guards, 1 for 8 and only 4 points to contribute to the Seattle cause. As we look now at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics, field goal percentages, the Phoenix Suns 50%, and Seattle, that 43 is significant. When they have shot over 43% in the playoffs, they've usually won, and Barkley 8 for 12 and his 16 in the first half.
But Shawn Kemp and his Sonics, one of the things that they have tried to do is dominate the glass, and they felt that that would really be important. And Kemp is into this ball game, and we'll see how he does in the second half. Let's go to Tom Hammond, who's with George Carl.
George, it looks like you survived the first test. You got down after a pretty dreadful start here on the road in Game 7, yet came back to get in the game. Were you pleased with that kind of poise?
Well, I was real happy with our defense and our attitude towards the game, because they came out and jumped us. But we're not shooting the ball very well, and we're only 6 down. We think we got to shoot the ball better. We got to get them off the free throw line. We can't defend them there. Everywhere else we do a pretty good job defending them, but on the free throw line they're tough.
At one point there in the second quarter, Charles Barkley really took command of the game. Any special defensive plans for him?
Well, we got to be more physical with him, I think. We got to stay body to body with him, try to keep him on the floor and make him shoot jump shots. If he makes jump shots, then we'll make an adjustment, but we don't want him to score in the paint.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Perhaps an omen. In their 25th year, the Chicago Bulls won their first NBA championship. This is the Suns' 25th anniversary. Second half coming up. Second half, Sam Perkins, one of 2 players in this game to be in an NBA Finals, led the Sonics with 13, Kemp with 12, Barkley had 16, Kevin Johnson 13, and Mark West scored 11 points. West scored that many only 6 times in the 100 games of this season. That includes the playoffs. Richard Dumas on the bench, as you saw. Tom Chambers starts the second half. 57-51, the Suns.
See, if the Sonics can take advantage of their inside players and stay inside and create some easier opportunities.
Perkins creating his own shot, and it's rebounded by Marley. Kevin Johnson, Marley, Mark West, with Chambers and Barkley for Phoenix. Kemp close, and Perkins, and his first shot of the second half. If there's been a stumble for Barkley in the playoffs, it's been slow third quarters, but he starts out well. Whistle away from the ball. Mark West using a forearm as his second.
You see, Barkley got enough separation with his body to be able to get a good look. He was just about 10 feet away on that jump shot, but that's where you really want to have Barkley, shooting jumpers, not crashing the boards, not splitting double teams.
Now that foul by West, make it 3 on him. Pierce, hungry for 2, and finally gets it. His first basket of the game, a man who averaged well over 20 in the playoffs thus far. Almost 22.
Well, Pierce didn't really get a lot of shots. He only had 4 shots in the first half. And I think the initial rush at the start of the game where he tired pretty early threw his offensive rhythm off. We'll see if he settled down. Majerle worked him good.
Majerle for 3. Comes out to Payton, and Payton is stolen by Johnson. Pierce had released, but Kevin Johnson quickly intercepts. And it's West locked inside. Barkley gets it back and is fouled. Ricky Pierce was reaching in, and if it's on him, that's number 3.
Gary Payton never played quarterback because he would have lofted that ball. And Kevin Johnson made the interception. He was able to get all the way down into the heart. Perkins makes the block, but he comes right back to Barkley. He misses the first, and Ricky Pierce asking who?
Looking for his 19th point. Already has 10 rebounds. And after missing his first 2 free throws in the first half, it's that one.
Barkley has vowed not to let the Suns lose. And true to his word so far, he's at least kept them on the lead. When they've gotten behind, he's been the guy that demanded the attention.
Well, you can just put that in capital letters when you say go-to guy. That's Barkley. McKee against Chambers. Reach in, steal by Johnson. And he tears down court. That was Mark West with the interception. Phoenix getting some extra chances with their quick hands. Barkley to Majerle, and he's fouled by Kemp. Shawn Kemp, number 3. Mark West is the man who made the play.
West has been a thorn in the side of the Suns, but a bigger thorn has been Barkley, and he was able to get away from the double team and find Majerle. Kemp picks up his 3rd personal foul. In Game 5 here, it was Shawn Kemp, who was huge in the second half. He really was a man possessed, and we'll find out whether he can get energized and keep his team close. Sonics trying to get to a 10-point advantage.
They've got it, and Majerle scores his first point since the Suns have a 10-point lead, and 5.5 minutes into the first quarter was the last time Majerle had scored prior to those 2 free throws.
McKee has to be aggressive at the offensive end.
McKee unable to hit the short shot. Kevin Johnson hurrying into the offensive end. Barkley. And a foul. And Barkley says that's 4 on Kemp. He's usually right.
Penetration again is what breaks down the Sonics, and Barkley's able to get right at the rim. Shawn Kemp with the personal.
4 fouls on his counterpart, Shawn Kemp. Phoenix in charge here in the 3rd by 10. Fans in Phoenix celebrating a 10-point Suns lead. Let's go to Tom Hammond.
Dick, during the timeout, Seattle coach George Karl, a very animated George Karl, was admonishing his team to play smart basketball. Time and again, he emphasized that they were making foolish mistakes. He said, smart basketball will get us back. Dick?
Statistically, bearing that out, Seattle has committed 10 turnovers. Phoenix only 5 in the game as Barkley looks for his 21st point.
And George Karl knows that the Suns, when they get ahead by 10 or 12, have a tendency to relax. They will allow you to get back in the basketball game, but in order to do so, you've got to do the right thing.
That's the biggest lead of the game for the Phoenix Suns, 12.
Get the ball into Kemp.
has trouble scoring. Barkley with his 11th rebound. He likes to go all the way. And a great pass to Chambers, and he is fouled. The spirit of Barkley fused throughout this Phoenix team this year.
After he wrestled the rebound away, the Sonics forgot that they're supposed to stop the ball. They let Barkley get in too deep, and now he finds Tom Chambers. They pick up another personal foul, Ricky Pierce.
His fourth. Big start for the Suns in this second half.
The Sonics have to remember, they're down 13. They've got plenty of time. What they want to try to do is to get back their offensive rhythm, begin to find a way to hurt the Suns at the offensive end.
Phoenix outscoring Seattle 10-2 in the second half. Pierce inside. Oh, it just won't drop for the Sonics. Chambers. 69-53, a 16-point lead. Timeout.
What's got the crowd on their feet is the aggressive play of the Suns here at the top of the third quarter of play. They have attacked, and they have gotten everything going their way.
They might even be cheering in Chicago, but they'd be looking for Seattle and home court. George Pell's team down by 16, reminding there's nothing to save as he shouts above the crowd, trying to spur his team. What now will be a major comeback if that could be accomplished. Plenty of time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time, and they've got to figure out a way to get the ball and score. A turnover and the foul against Pierce, who had just had the worst game of his life. Here in the biggest game of his life.
Fifth foul on Pierce.
Pierce tried to enter the ball from a bad angle. Then in trying to hustle out of the mistake, bumped Barkley out of bounds, but you can see he had no chance, absolutely no chance of making that pass into Shawn Kemp.
And the Suns are killing Seattle at the line. In this third quarter, they're already 8 for 8. Seattle without a free throw.
And the worst part about that, they're in a penalty situation. That means they'll be shooting cheap shots from the line the remainder of the period, so any surge can be broken by free throw opportunity. Pierce down, Nathan filling in.
Chambers is out. Danny Ainge comes in. Richard Dumas yet to play for Phoenix. Barkley now 5 for 7 from the line. 71-53, third quarter. This is a 14-2 run to start the second half.
Well, the last time they were in trouble, it was Sam Perkins who kept them steady and got them out. He draws a foul against Oliver Miller. But they have got to move the ball quicker. The Phoenix Suns have become the aggressor, and the Sonics have taken a passive role, and they've got to get back to attacking if they're to get back in the game. They want to cut the lead down to 10 or 8 points by the top of the fourth quarter.
Only 2 points of this third quarter from Ricky Pierce is now on the Pines with 5 fouls. Kemp just does beat Barkley to the ball and bank one in. Well contested, 14 for Kemp.
They need pressure on the ball. They don't need to allow the Suns to get the ball in a position where they want to run their offense, and we'll see if that aggressively picks up.
Barkley knowing Kemp has 4 and a whistle away from the ball. Illegal defense called against Gary Payton. That's the first.
They swing the ball to Shawn Kemp. He has to fight Barkley to get it. That's a sign of a team challenging. Then you see Kevin Johnson and Danny Ainge try to squeeze him. So every shot, every effort is being contested right now by the Phoenix Suns.
Kevin Johnson goes out. Didn't seem too happy about being replaced by Frank Johnson. Didn't even give his partner a little pad as they crossed paths.
open and they missed him.
Ames, short. Frank Johnson over the back. And the foul is on Frank Johnson, his second. We'll go back to when Kevin Johnson left for Frank Johnson. This was his reaction.
Well, it's good right now. He wants to stay in there while it's good. He had something to do with it, so it's understandable. This is the biggest game of his career, and he wants to make sure that he does something good. Barrows.
Dana Barros, the best three-point shooter, although he didn't get them as many from outside the arc as Perkins this year. That's why he's in there. They need some quick points. Eddie Johnson, Barros, Perkins, Kemp, and McMillan on the floor for Seattle.
The defensive energy of the Sonics has been broken by the lack of offensive efficiency. They pick up a foul against Sam Perkins.
You saw Barkley raise two fingers. He knows the foul count on everybody.
That shows you the awareness of Barkley, and that's what you should be thinking as a player. Who the opponent is, what kind of personal foul damage he has, and how to attack him. Right now, the Suns are going to make a living at the free throw line if they don't get more pressure on the basketball, because the inside players are getting too good a position.
You know, Barkley is a very, very bright man. We have evidence the other day, someone asked him to read a piece of material that involved strange names, and Albright took one look at the copy, about 20 seconds, and rattled it off as if he'd memorized it for a month. I mean, just boom, like that. Wish we were that good.
Well, we just have to do as many commercials as Charles.
No, I guess that he's had some training, and he's draining the free throws. Now 8 for 10 and 26 points.
The half court has always been frustrating for the Sonics, and right now they don't really have an idea how to score.
It goes off. Barkley, who tried to influence it now, gives a big smile. There's a bad pass by Barrows. Tough chance for Eddie Johnson.
8 on the shot clock.
Oh, it goes off Marley and John. Well, that's one of the old tricks. We're talking about the Globetrotters. Threw it off Marley's back, recovered, and hit the 15-footer.
They always say never turn your back to the passer, and Eddie Johnson took advantage of that.
Whoops, down goes Marley. 5 on the shot clock. Turnover. Miller trying to hit Barkley, and Charles said, just cool it now. Hey, nothing too hurried.
That was the best defensive stand the Sonics have had so far. Now they need to come back with a hoop.
6 minutes to go in the third. Perkins for 3. Marley rebounds. And a foul on Eddie Johnson. Eddie saying, let me play. Third on him.
The Sonics are trying to cut into the deficit real quick, and they're trying to get that three-point field goal. There are 2-point shots out there for them, and if they take them, and again, one of the problems is you get momentum going your way, as the Phoenix Suns have. You get all of the calls. That was a touch call, and Eddie Johnson sees Dan Majerle rewarded for it.
Marley's 7th point. To an 18-point lead.
Barkley will not let Shawn Kemp catch the ball. Ames is harassing. They finally get it into Kemp.
And Marley took it away from Kemp. And finally, Johnson, and he's hammered by Oliver Miller. 3 seconds on the shot clock. His third.
This is a tough angle to try to enter and lob over the top of Barkley. Kemp is asking for it, but they don't have a good angle. They finally get it in. The weak side help, and Marley and Miller come, and Eddie Johnson, he got bailed out as he just picked that ball up and threw it in the air and got fouled.
Johnson with 12 points today. 16 points. The advantage for Phoenix with the ball, and 5:35 left in the third quarter.
And still, the Sonics have a chance to get back in this game, but they're going to have to make the Suns a perimeter team at this point for the next 5 minutes. They've got to see this team work against the clock and shoot the ball over the top.
Barkley wanted it. Comes out to Barrows. Eddie Johnson inside and a foul. That one's going to be on Barkley, his third.
The best thing about the NBA is if you're down, you still have a chance to get back in the game. The ball's going to be turned over every 24 seconds or less. And if you use your head and you find someone that can score the ball for you, you can get back in it by playing smart. Kevin Johnson back in the ball game as Paul Westphal does not want his team to stand around out on the perimeter. Eddie Johnson feeling it this afternoon.
5 for 5 from the line for Johnson, who has 15. That's his series high. He had 20 against Houston in the semifinals in the West. Back to Barkley. KJ. Ainge. Nails the three. The third of the game by Ainge, who is the all-time playoff leader in NBA history from outside the arc.
If they're going to get the ball to Kemp, they got to go a little bit earlier. Nate McMillan for 2.
Foot was on the line. 4:35 to go in the third. Ainge and Eddie Johnson with another foul. His fourth. Eddie said, yeah, I knew all those whistles. Well, this one was more obvious than a couple others earlier.
He was stuck in a position against Danny Ainge, who's a little bit quicker off the dribble. He wasn't moving his feet, thought he'd be able to get him and get away with the hand check, and it was fairly obvious. Derek McKee is back in the game. This is the guy right here that's got to get the wake-up call. He's only scored 6 points, but he can score and score effectively and make plays for other people against the small lineup that they have out on the floor, and we'll see if Casper arrives.
McKee's nicknamed Casper because sometimes he is invisible. He disappears, has 6 points today. Ainge, who knows the thrill of an NBA championship with the Boston Celtics, playing his part. He's 3 for 3 from outside the line. Eddie Johnson. 80-65 Phoenix. 17 for Eddie Johnson to lead Seattle. Block is the call against Nate McMillan. McMillan wanted a call against Kevin's front arm. His second.
Kevin Johnson backing up and then initially getting a quick step, and Nate McMillan couldn't recover. An easy call for the official to make, and that is what's going to kill any momentum, is every foul the Suns are rewarded with a chance to shoot. 4 minutes left in this quarter.
Johnson adds another point, and the count in that free throw column for Phoenix is going to be most significant today.
All Carl can do is he looks up there at the scoreboard, and the game situation is hope that he gets out of this quarter in reasonably good shape.
Phoenix 36 out of 41 from the line today. Seattle, half as many free throws made. A miss by McKee. Oh, Kemp over the back, and that'll be number 5.
Kemp has to learn when the defense has a player under control. He makes a good tip. Now, Perkins had Barkley under control. He didn't have to swing to try to make a block on that play, and that puts him in double jeopardy, and he has not really gotten anything going here in the second half. He had 12, and now he's gotten 2 points, but he has not been able to contribute. Carl is going to have to take him down in hopes of getting something from him in the 4th and final period.
Barkley's size 14s are taking him to that line, wearing a spot in the floor. This will be his 11th attempt, and he's made 9. Pierce and Kemp, 2 starters. The top 2 scorers for Seattle, strapped with 5. No one in immediate trouble for Phoenix. Kemp is out, Vincent Askew in. Phoenix taking full advantage at the line. Johnson with a quick trigger over range. 19 for him.
Now all Eddie Johnson needs to do is find some friends. First they've got to get a stop, and if he can just keep scoring and get someone else to come along with him, they can get back in the game. Turnover.
McMillan knocked it away from Kevin Johnson.
Eddie Johnson is begging for the ball. They forgot that his hands are red hot. They get a jump ball.
Perkins tried to call time, but didn't have sole possession. A jump ball call. Danny Ainge down there on his chin, skidding with Perkins. The 2 men who have been in an NBA final.
And Ainge comes underneath, and Perkins is saying, "Wait, time out."
Ainge over to towel off. George Karl, every tick of that clock against Seattle. 17-point deficit.
The Suns will try to gamble, but they don't want the ball to go ahead, so they see it tip back to McMillan.
Perkins for 3, and a big 3 for Sam, who has 16 in the game. 84-70. Ainge to Miller, he traveled. It was Perkins' defense forced Miller to change his mind.
And Miller was right there. He didn't have to get any closer. He had a cheap shot, tried to dig in and get a little bit closer. Right here is the shot. Now he traveled right there. That's the mistake. That's what the Sonics are looking for. A few mistakes, and now they got to come back to Eddie Johnson.
Well, Phoenix hasn't made many. That's only the 8th turnover. Johnson blocked. That was Barkley coming out to challenge. Miller. And the foul. The 3rd on Nate McMillan.
Eddie Johnson, who feels it, he thought he had a good shot right there. Watch Barkley come to get a piece of that. That's one of the strengths of Barkley, is being able to rise and get the ball after it's released. And then at the other end of the floor, Nate McMillan, trying to keep Oliver Miller from throwing it down, picked up the foul.
Miller still looking for his first point. Man who's had an outstanding rookie season, capped by these playoffs, where he's had some starring roles, especially in the opening best-of-5 against the Lakers. He's averaged over 8 points a game, over 5 rebounds, and he's had more blocks than any Phoenix Sun, though a reserve. His first point, Phoenix by 15. Just over 2 minutes to go in the 3rd.
This is the guy, and he feels like he can score every time he gets it.
And he is. Eddie Johnson with 21. His top playoff game against Phoenix. 8 for 11 shooting for the 12-year veteran Johnson, who makes his home here in Phoenix. Kevin Johnson to Ainge for 3. It's his first miss in the key rebounds.
They got numbers. Let's see if they can get a hoop.
Eddie Johnson doesn't wait for help, but misses everything with a shot. Marley. And a whistle. It'll go against Phoenix. Barkley with a push has his 4th. George Karl wanted something and finally did get something.
So out of that, and it looked like Barkley was the guy that pulled down Eddie Johnson. They give the foul to Danny Ainge.
Well, Ainge with 4.
And of course, Ainge will gladly accept that because that keeps Barkley out of trouble.
One of those neighborhood fouls that you see at this stage of a game.
You'll see the block there. Right there. I don't know how did Danny Ainge get that call, but fortunately he picked it up. Barkley was the guy. Eddie Johnson with 2 more. He has got 14 and a quarter.
And he's pulled. Seattle within 11, so by the end of the quarter, if they can be a single, that's another foul against Seattle. McMillan for blocking. Hard to say that, I'm sure in George Karl's mind, if he get in the fourth quarter down by only a single-digit deficit, that's all that he wants.
I think he would even settle for being as close as 12 at this point because they have not been able to really get an offensive rhythm. The free throw line has been their enemy, and you count the number of free throw attempts that the Phoenix Suns have had and made. It's been a huge advantage here in the third quarter.
This has been the only run of the second half for Seattle, 9-1 prior to that free throw. Kevin Johnson now with 16 points, 12 of those from right where he's standing.
And they've been in the penalty since about the 8-minute mark.
Well, Phoenix taking full advantage, shooting free throws extraordinarily well, and they've had plenty of chances.
Looking for Eddie Johnson.
He wants it. He's got it. What a third quarter for Johnson now with 25. 16 in the period.
He's providing that perimeter shooting that Ricky Pierce had given him in all the other games. If Eddie hadn't, he finally is plugged in, and he's in the zone like Dan Majerle was in Game 5.
They run 3 men at Barkley's, so 2 Suns were open, one of them Majerle, and Frank Johnson from the side is short. Nate McMillan. And in the final minute of the third, Seattle indeed has a chance to carve it down to a 9-point deficit. And it's Johnson with a hanger. Oh, my. What a period for the veteran.
Eddie with 18 in the quarter.
9-point lead, Phoenix. Majerle for 3. Oh, that's a big one. Majerle, just when Seattle's starting to feel it, Majerle drives home his first tray of the game.
Eddie Johnson is chasing that ball right now. He's parked on the other side, but he wants to get his hands on it.
McMillan resets. Way short. Barkley with a rebound. Plenty of time for Phoenix. 8 seconds, and now a foul. And Payton and Barkley exchange words. And there are not pleasantries. I got the U part.
Barkley is telling him, you fouled me. And plus he's telling him you're too little to come over and talk on my shoulder.
Well, there is that as well, isn't there? Well, Barkley back at the free throw line looking for 29 or 30.
Remember when Tom Hammond told us that George Karl wanted his team to play smart. And as they got that surge, they allowed Majerle to be open. He knocks down a 3. Then they miss his shot, wrong guy shooting, and they compound it by fouling Barkley, who has scored very, very well at the line this afternoon.
He had made 10 straight prior to that miss. He's 10 for 13 in the game.
Sonics have a chance to get one more shot up quickly.
13-point Phoenix lead. 5 seconds. Payton takes it hard to the hole and scores. Only his 5th point of the game. Kevin Johnson. And that is the end of the third quarter. One that started in a most exciting manner for these fans as Phoenix outscored the Sonics 12-2. Charles Barkley with 29 in the game, and the Suns are a quarter away from Chicago. Phoenix adding 5 points to their lead despite Eddie Johnson's 18 points in that third quarter. We open the fourth, an 11-point lead for the Phoenix Suns.
knowing that they still have a chance to play. Let's see if the Sonics can get some defensive energy, start making the Suns become a perimeter team, and then score the ball to get back in this one. They're within contact now with 12 minutes to play.
Chambers, partially blocked, and it comes right back to Chambers. Look at Barkley fight for the rebound. How a man at only 6'4.5" can have such great timing, position, energy, out-rebound men half a foot taller consistently.
He has strength and he has explosiveness that nobody at that size has had. Chambers knocked out of bounds.
Barkley against Askew, and a foul. Askew second.
Barkley, a man possessed inside. He's able to get position and at the same time keep people off of him and stay after the ball. You'll see him come in and try to overpower Askew. Askew gives up the baseline and picks up the person.
Sun starting this fourth quarter going small, and that'll be another on Askew. He's got too much of Barkley in his hands.
But the only way that they can help Askew with this matchup is to pressure the basketball so that they cannot start Barkley. That's a second team foul. We haven't played a minute yet, and they could end up with another quarter in which the Phoenix Suns get to the line. The last quarter they were 24-26.
26, that would come out over 100 free throws a game throw rate. Frank Johnson is short. Chambers saves, another chance. Marley, third chance, and finally Payton with a rebound for Seattle. Inside to Askew. Barkley not as yet down for it. Askew scores and he's fouled by Chambers, and that puts Seattle in single digits in there.
You always look for a single defining moment that may say that momentum has swung. There were 4 possessions in which the Suns did not get a hoop, and in their first one, Askew, who picked up 2 quick personal fouls, comes back and draws a foul on Tom Chambers, has a chance for a 3-point play.
Askew's first points, he played for George Karl, Albany in the CBA. He was the most valuable player in the Continental League. So it's 91-82. Phoenix with 10.5 to go. So goes to Chicago. Marley with 5. Chambers boxing out. Seattle finally clears. It's Askew. And Kevin Johnson took it away cleanly to Frank Johnson. And Nate McMillan with a block. 5 on McMillan. What a play by Kevin Johnson.
This is the kind of play that will just break your heart. Good defensive play by Kevin Johnson and a strong drive by Frank Johnson gets him to the line.
Nate McMillan joins Ricky Pierce and Shawn Kemp. 1 foul away from disqualification.
After Askew got the ball, he should have given it to Gary Payton. He had a chance to, felt he could make a play. But that's what happens though when you want to be a hero. You just feel that you can make it happen.
First point for Frank Johnson. His big game was up in Seattle in Game 3 when he scored 10 points in the second half to spark the Suns win. Time out Seattle. One of those retired by Phoenix along with Connie Hawkins, 42, Dick Van Arsdale's number 5, Alvin Adams, 33. Under 10 to go, and it's Phoenix by 11.
Eddie Johnson was the guy that got him in a position, and he's still trying to force the issue. Gets a foul against Frank Johnson.
Third against Frank Johnson. Here comes Shawn Kemp. He'll be playing with 5 fouls, remember.
Don't ever say that George Karl is not a risk taker. I mean, here you are with 9:49 to go. Eddie Johnson, who's been sizzling, this will bring the game to with either 10 or 9 points. And Kemp is going to come back and play and try to stay out of foul problems.
14 for Shawn Kemp. Meanwhile, Eddie Johnson, picking up the offensive firepower, has 28. A perfect 8 for 8 from the line. And with those 2 free throws, Phoenix now has outscored Seattle by 22 from the line. A 9-point game.
And the Suns have yet to score a field goal here in the fourth quarter, but they've been able to get second shots with offensive rebounds.
And that good old foul line. Barkley walking right around Kemp. Tipped in by Chambers. 11 for Chambers, who started today. Shawn Kemp, rebound Barkley. Barkley with 16 boards. They'll go right to Barkley with Kemp with 5. And on whom?
It'll be on Derek McKee, but this is not smart basketball on the part of George Karl. You can't put Kemp on Charles Barkley at this stage knowing you're trying to keep him in the game, and Barkley is the most dominant offensive player out there. They come back with Tom Chambers with a tip after that miss, and then they come back with a post-up. McKee has to come over to give help, and again, we're looking at a possible penalty situation for the Sonics on the next foul. They went in at about 8:50 the last time. It's 9 minutes here in the fourth. You can't catch up if you're going to give up cheap shots.
Sam Perkins returns for the Sonics. Nate McMillan out. And the guess is that Perkins might go on Barkley.
You might go on Barkley, but anybody but Shawn Kemp.
Barkley nails 2 more free throws. He's 13 for 16 and 31 points. Eddie Johnson, Barkley with his 17th rebound.
And he didn't have height enough to finish after he split that double team.
Kemp is now on Chambers. Perkins on Barkley. We'll see if they try to find Chambers. Barkley, he hasn't had a 3. Does now. 100-84. Barkley matching his number with 34.
Now they got to come back and take advantage of the fact that they've got McKee inside, and he's going to cause a double team, and they do that with Perkins with a 3.
Sam Perkins with 19. That's his second 3. 8 minutes to go. The Suns 13 points up. Chambers. Barkley again. In the right place to cash in. 36 for him.
Great block by McKee. Went for nothing.
And a foul.
Charles Barkley missed the first quarter, but he has shown up since then. And here in the fourth quarter, again, he's putting his footprint on it as he hits the three-pointer. Now watch him slide in underneath. The block by McKee. Barkley able to hold his position, put it in with the left hand.
Foul was on Marley. His second. McKee to Pierce. 102. At 104-87. No, they just corrected their score. They corrected 102-89. Phoenix by 13. Perkins giving Barkley room. Now Barkley sees a hole, and a reach-in foul. Gary Payton with a foul. George Karl just staring down Barkley. Gave a little extra histrionics.
The problem, Barkley is now looking to drive the ball to the hoop, and Perkins gave him a lane, and no one closed it. He was in too deep. And again, it had been Barkley taking over just when it looked like the Suns were going to struggle. They couldn't get a hoop. And then Barkley found a way to get some scoring. He's got the crowd back in it, and the Sonics are on their heel. Penalty situation, 7:07 left.
Barkley closing in on his 43 in Game 5. That was his playoff high. Now with 38. 15 of those points from the foul line. Gary Payton. He now has 7.
The Sonics have one more surge before they're through, and they've got about 2.5 minutes to make it and get back in this game.
They need some stops. Kevin Johnson went right through the legs of Barkley. 6:39 to go, and Phoenix enjoys the 13-point lead. The spirit of Phoenix, and Dan Majerle certainly an important part of that as far as the NBA is concerned, the hustle guy. But he's also concerned about a Suns' weakness late in games when they're ahead.
I think when we get up by 10 or 12 points, we tend to let teams back in the ball game, and I think that's something we really have to work on. We don't have that killer instinct. We don't put teams away, and I think that has a lot to do with the criticism that we're a soft team and we can't put teams away. So we just need to work on that a little bit, and when we get teams down, we tend to relax, and we can't do that. We need to go after them.
Well, the Seattle SuperSonics hope that pattern holds. They've got 6 minutes, 39 seconds to catch up, down by 13.
Pierce on the block.
Ainge with a foul. The first Sun with 5.
If you're Paul Westphal, you want to see that clock run. Yes, they can score, but if the clock continues to move, that becomes the enemy. Ricky Pierce got a quick position, only 2 seconds now. He has a chance to score from the line.
Pierce with only 5 points today. Ricky averaging almost 22 a game in this series.
And he has been huge in all of their wins, and it is a real tough afternoon for him because he can't get any offensive rhythm.
Phoenix lead 11. Suns with their 2 3-point shooters, Ainge and Majerle in, along with Kevin Johnson, the quarterback.
And one of the problems the Sonics have, they got 2 players out there with 5 personal fouls. They can't really be aggressive in trying to shut down the Suns.
Chambers left open on the side. Tom Chambers, the veteran, with 13 big points. Shawn Kemp way outside as Barkley challenges and then goes to collect the rebound. Number 19. Barkley guaranteed to win today, and he certainly played his part. Good ball movement. It's Ainge for the 3. And Barkley, amongst the sea of green, able to come up with a rebound. How does he do it? 20 rebounds, 38 points for Barkley. Chambers. 108-93. And 5 minutes to go.
George Karl's got to come back with Eddie Johnson, but they got to do a better job defensively, and they can't because the Suns have moved the ball before the double team can take effect, and Charles Barkley refuses to let the Sonics get anything. Barkley inside, positioning himself. He sees where the ball is, gets it before anyone else, and then maintains his presence and gets it out when he's on the floor. And then you see Tom Chambers, after they have moved the ball and meet the double team, he has a crowd excited, and they feel that they are right there ready for Chicago.
Charles Barkley, another monster game, and the rookie Oliver Miller Barkley's tutored him all season long, and Miller with his own adulation, adoration. Shawn Kemp had a good first half, but he scored only 2 points, no rebounds in the second half, strapped with fouls. And Barkley has been on, couldn't call it cruise control because he's breaking the speed limit the way he tears around.
Oh, he's had his foot on the pedal, and he has dominated this ball game. And the Sonics just have not been able to way to contain Charles Barkley. That window of opportunity in 6:45 just blew away, and they are going to have to fight and claw. And you can see whenever you're giving ground defensively, they're just not getting it done.
Barkley leading Phoenix in that front court firepower. Plus 25. 3 on the shot clock. Kevin has to force up a shot, and it doesn't hit the rim, so the buzzer. 24-second violation, but Paul Westphal said that's okay. You're going to miss one, use all 24. And now,
Loose ball on number 8, Eddie Johnson.
A foul on Eddie Johnson, his 5th, after the buzzer. Johnson, who has been unhappy with the officiating, but at the same time providing Seattle with its top scoring, as his 5th. Well, you talked about the officiating, and home court advantage really translates to that influence. I mean, we're all human. We all hear the cheers, and usually the home court does get the advantage there.
And what happens in this ball game, in trying to keep the game under control, officials have a tendency to call touch fouls, and that's what happened to the Sonics. The Sonics also compounded it by getting into the penalty way too early. You can't let a good free-throwing team and a team that's primarily an offensive juggernaut get cheap points, and that's what they allowed to happen.
4 men for Seattle now with 5, but this free throw by Chambers will extend now an all-time record for free throws by the Suns. This is his 57th, and if he makes it, 50 free throws made. Those are franchise records. 25 years, no Phoenix team has ever been to the line more or made more free throws.
Most of those have come here in the second half.
Kemp inside to jam. 16 for Shawn. Time running out on what has been a marvelous season for the Seattle SuperSonics, reaching the NBA Final Four.
Well, they got 19,000 coaches here in America West Arena that are saying, take your time, don't shoot it early. And Kevin Johnson said, I can make that.
And does. He has 19. Kemp passes up the shot as he rides down, and the call's against Chambers, his 4th. Chambers wondering what he did wrong.
Well, Kemp had missed a couple of perimeter shots before, so he decided to try to get a little bit closer. Chambers thought, he came into me.
Kemp at the line.
This is when the Suns are the most dangerous, and when they get a big lead, they have a tendency to steamroll and just roller coaster, and that's what we've seen since that 6:45 mark when they were within 10 or 12. Well, today the killer instinct may have arrived. Dan Majerle said they haven't had it, but they have been devastating, led by Charles Barkley.
112-97. Kevin Johnson, veterans on the court with Chambers and Barkley. KJ takes it in. And another foul. And that is Johnson's strength, that lightning quick drive.
Askew again has a problem of giving ground. He doesn't turn him. He lets Kevin take the lane that he wants, and out of it, he gets fouled. The reaction by Paul Westphal, that's the most emotion he's shown in these 7 games.
That's an imposter. That isn't Westphal. Well, that almost is a signal with 3.5 minutes to go, and the Suns now by 18, that Westphal can actually sit back and perhaps enjoy. Askew tipped in by Shawn Kemp, and a foul. Basket basket is good. The foul, I believe, was on Kevin Johnson against Gary Payton.
Askew trying to squeeze this off, and you can see Payton trying to pull him down, and Kevin Johnson trying to hold his balance, fighting back. Inside Askew, and underneath, Kemp will make a beautiful tip, and in that right-hand corner is the contact between the two guards. Now the real question over there on that Suns bench is, will Richard Dumas get out of the doghouse? You got 3:20 to go. You're up 15, Paul.
Dumas has not played after starting 4 games of this series. And that's with Cedric Ceballos out for the rest of the year. Barkley is in the 40s. Over 40 points and 20 rebounds now. 40 and 20. Payton fouled at the other end.
That's been the story. Barkley has been able to get the ball and do what he wanted, and Shawn Kemp, trying to stay in the game, has had to give him the room to shoot the ball. Barkley, since that first quarter, has just exploded. Dumas saying, "Coach, win, win."
Dumas, along with Oliver Miller, the two rookies, shaved their heads in respect to Charles Barkley.
He shouldn't have shaved his, because ever since he shaved his, he's not played well.
117-101. 2:47 to go. Phoenix with the best record in the NBA. As they close out Seattle, will host Chicago Wednesday night, game 1 of the finals. Chambers. Barkley doesn't get that rebound, then takes it away from McMillan and draws another foul. Oh my! That is why this man is the league's MVP.
In past years, this is what's been missing for the Phoenix Suns. A guy who is relentless, who just won't let you lose. And this is the opportunity that Charles Barkley has been dying for. A chance to be on a team that really has some firepower and could compete for a championship.
Chambers goes out with 17, and the hard-shooting veteran played his role well today. But the star of stars at the line looking for 41. Just 2 less now than his all-time playoff high scored in Game 5. MVP, they check. Danny Ainge takes it away from Johnson. With 12 on the clock, sends it up. Shawn Kemp with the rebound. That's when Barkley came here. He said, it's like a baseball lineup. You got 3 great hitters in the middle of the lineup. We all can be good. Eddie Johnson with a bucket. He said, I came to a team that had 2 All-Stars, Marley and Kevin Johnson. Now we got 3 top players. He said, I've never been in that position in Philadelphia.
They have a lot of depth, and more importantly, they have a lot of different ways to hurt you in scoring. Barkley,
I should say, they didn't have that in Philadelphia in his later years. As a rookie, they did. Right into the hands of Frank Johnson with 1:35 to go, and now it's a matter of just for the Phoenix fans enjoying a great, great season that will continue. Barkley again, foul on Kemp, and the confrontation of the game's top stars, Kemp and Barkley. Symbolically, Kemp fouls out, and Barkley goes to score more.
Frank Johnson Johnson with a tough shot, but Barkley just won't be denied. He came over the top, got it, Kemp blocked it. He thought he blocked it again and was not happy with the call, which kind of symbolizes the frustration of the Sonics, the joy and elation of the Suns.
43, that ties his Game 5 output, his all-time playoff high, and perhaps, if he makes this one, it'll be his best scoring game, maybe his best ever playoff game when the Suns needed it most. The man has done it. Dina Barros with his first basket. For the Suns. Gerard Muskov getting his first playing time today. Marley doesn't get it off. 41 seconds to go, and we can safely now look ahead. Suns and Bulls, they played twice during the regular season in Phoenix early. A big win for Chicago, led by Jordan's 40. But Barkley goes out with that smile of his. As angry as he can be sometimes, he can light up the city with that smile. 44 points, 24 rebounds for Charles Barkley. Just to complete the business, the Suns won in Chicago to split the series. And that was later in the year on March 30th, with Jordan hitting 44 and Barkley 26. Jordan over 40 both games, but both won on the road. Eddie Johnson with a 3, and Eddie Johnson has 34 in defeat today. Beat the Bulls chant, predictably arising out of this crowd of 19,000. SQ uncontested with 14.8 seconds. As for Barkley's thoughts now can concentrate on two of his dream teammates, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. The Bulls will be in town Wednesday night. You'll see it live here on NBC. All the games will be live. 2.3 seconds, not quite over. Charles Barkley will be chatting with us. We'll get his thoughts as we break for the commercial at game's end, so don't wander away. There they are, the smiles of Jordan, who hasn't been too happy of late. Off the court news against Charles Barkley.
Eddie Johnson fouls out of the ball game. It hurt him, but he showed a great deal of class. Went down and congratulated all of the Phoenix Suns, and he will take a bench in what was his best game, and unfortunately his worst moment. They lose in Game 7, and you can see a disappointed Eddie Johnson.
Well, he'll be here to watch as a spectator. He lives in Phoenix and has season tickets.
He's not coming home for this.
Knowing Johnson, you know, I think as hurt as he is now, he's such a good guy and a good sport. Loves sport. It'll take a while, but I bet we'll see his face in one of those finals games. He went to Westinghouse High School in Chicago. The last shot, and the Phoenix Suns are the champions of the West for only the second time in the history of this franchise. They're in the NBA Finals in quest of their first ever NBA championship. And they go to the championship round against the Bulls on the backs of the most valuable player in professional basketball this year. Charles Barkley. Will talk to him when we return. Phoenix Suns are the Western champions, led by the most valuable player, Charles Barkley, who wears his feelings in public. What's he feeling now? Tom Hammond?
Charles, you had a monster game. You guaranteed victory. You've had an eventful year, a gold medal, a trade to Phoenix. You had the MVP award and now a trip to the finals. Where does it rank?
Well, all that stuff is great, but I came to Phoenix for one reason, and it wasn't just to get to the finals. The Bulls are a great team, and we we know we can beat them. They know they can beat us, so it's going to be a great series.
You just seem determined not to get beat today. You just picked up the team and carried them on their back. What were your thoughts?
Well, I didn't feel like we were going to lose. I believe we're going to win the World Championship. I believe that all year. I think we got the best team in the world, and I'm glad we're playing Chicago because they're the best. But we feel like we're going to win this team. We felt like that all year.
You have a message for your dream team teammate Michael Jordan?
Well, as soon as he called me yesterday and wished me luck and told me to take the ball to the basket, and I tried to do that. He's my friend, he's my brother, and I love him, but we're going to play a lot of golf this series.
Right. Congratulations, Charles.
You knew that was coming. Two bald bulls, one from Chicago, one from Phoenix. Barkley and Jordan go at it in the finals. We'll return to the America West Arena after this. On NBC.